Welcome to my origami tutorial on folding an origami narwhal. This is by Donya Quick. The link will be in the video comments. The model has an open top, so folding it with foil paper, which I don't really like folding with, is preferred, because otherwise it'll open up like this one. The tail's a little weird, but you can modify it as necessary to make it look like how you want. It starts out with a piece of paper, square, right side up. You start with the diagonal fold. And then folding both edges in to make the either ice cream cone shape or kite shape. Then the next step is folding this point down. This is step 3. Now there are no real clear markings on how far to fold it. About a finger's depth down is okay, and this is a 6-inch square, so it doesn't really matter. It just means if you fold it down to here, you're going to get a tail that is monstrously out of proportion for the rest of your narwhal. Next step is to free up some paper from within the tail, make it a little wider. One thing that's not mentioned is to make the edges somewhat parallel, or at least semblance of the same on both sides. And then we fold the corner under to square it off. And that is step 4 and 5. Step 6 has us folding the back behind and then turning the model over. Step 7 is to fold the edges in to the center line. Sorry to keep turning the model. My camera is actually oriented upside down, so how I'm presenting it to you is how the instructions look. Next step is to fold the model in half, the tail on the outside. So we have the head and the tail. Then we're going to inside reverse fold the tail up through the body along these lines. You can pre-crease it if you'd like. So now the tail is inside the body. Then we're going to inside reverse fold again and bring it back down. So now we have the head again and the tail. Now we are on step 12 and we narrow down the tail region. This is just folding the layers down, making sure to also narrow the fins. That's one side completed. Also to note, if you made step 3 a little too large, the flap here will get folded over. That's fine. It's not that big a deal. It's just you'll take the tail back out later, so it's not permanent. And we do the same thing on the other side, narrowing the tail down. And the fin. So we have that, or that. Step 13 is to fold the fins. I like to fold both fins towards the back, or the front in this case, and then back. That way we have a nice crease. And there are also more layers. If you look, there are more layers on this side than on this side. So I like to take the extra layer towards the back. You can see I have 2 layers on this side and 1 layer on this side. It doesn't really matter. I'm just being OCD. I'm going to do the same to the other fin. So we have fins. Now we're going to inside reverse fold the head. The directions say to fold the model flat. What I'm going to do is kind of tuck one fin inside the other, like that, so I don't damage them. Put it on the table and squash the horn and head into position. And scroll down on my instructions. Then fold the head horn piece back out. There's no real description on how far to fold it, so I just fold it out to about there. And then we narrow down the horn. Now this step, I'm just guessing because there are no real descriptions on how to do it, but I make a line from here to here, and then a crease goes up to here and then out the back. So it looks kind of like that. So close up. Let me narrow down the horn. And I'm going to repeat it on the other side to narrow down the horn again. If your horn gets a little messy, you can kind of fold the layers back around to try to neaten them up a little bit. Mine was getting a little messed up. And then I'm going to fold my narwhal back in half. So we have almost complete. Now for the part I didn't like. The tail is a little weird. You free up the layers on the inside. I'm not sure exactly how to fold it, but I closely approximated it. Basically, I free up these layers underneath, and you kind of pull them out, and then you can... What I ended up doing is I just sort of mashed it into position. I really wasn't sure what they wanted. I basically unfold this whole layer, pinch both sides, and then you can see that the tail is forked, so I pinch both sides there and there, and you'll notice it doesn't quite want to lay flat, so on the underside I do a little bit of shaping, and I end up with something that I can only assume looks like a narwhal's tail. And that is the completed narwhal. Obviously you can finish rounding out the model, but unless it's in foil, it's not really going to stay. You can see on my other model it pops right open. So that's that.